Hello, I am Brother Aelred Senna, a monk of St. John's Abbey, and today I'm thrilled to be with you to prepare a dish that you could use during Lent. It is a meatless dish, and it is called Shakshuka. There will be a recipe that will be written out for you in a link, so you'll be able to take that recipe and make this for yourself. But we thought it would be nice for people to be able to see how the dish comes together. Shakshuka is a dish that originates probably in northern Africa, maybe Tunisia, though it's eaten in many places throughout the world at this point. It's a delicious tomato stew. This one has tomatoes and red bell pepper. All the dishes that I make usually start with a big lot of onion and probably garlic. This one is going to include some feta cheese in the tomato stew, and then we crack some eggs into that stew and put those into the oven to bake to finish off the dish. And then we'll serve it with some nice pita bread or some naan or something like that. I've been a monk here at St. John's for going on 18 years, and I've been cooking since I was in junior high school, so that's going to be a lot of years now. I was maybe 14, and now I'm 62, so I'm not going to do that math, but you can. It's a lot of years. My skillet is just nearly warm, so I will put a bit of olive oil in the skillet and let it heat up. Don't be shy with your oil. You can use olive oil, you can use vegetable oil, you can use avocado oil, some kind of neutral oil. In fact, olive's probably the least neutral oil that I have, but I love olive oil, so there it is. I see that I have not chopped my garlic, so I'm going to do that while we're waiting for that oil to heat up. My oil is plenty hot now, so I'm going to just put in my onions. Doesn't that sound good? And my red peppers, and I'm going to saute those down until they're nice and soft. That's going to take, I'm going to lower my heat now so that they're not cooking too fast. And then that's going to take, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, perhaps, if you're cooking at a rather low heat. We're starting to see some color on these onions and the red pepper, which is good. We're going to give them another couple of minutes, though, because I want them maybe a little softer. And then I will add in my garlic for just a minute or two, no more. Before I move on to put in the aromatics and then the tomatoes. So these have now got a nice bit of color on, and they're good and soft, and that caramelization really is equivalent to a lot of flavor. So don't cheat on this step. Be sure you get them beautifully caramelized, golden. And now I'm going to add that garlic and just stir that in for just a minute to let it soften a little bit. It will cook, the garlic will cook and release its flavor more as we add the tomatoes and the liquid of the tomatoes. But what I didn't want to happen is for the garlic to scorch in the pan and become bitter, because that's not pleasant. So that's probably good. Now I'm going to add my spices, which are really paprika and cumin and just a little bit of cayenne. You can adjust the amount of cayenne that you want or leave it out altogether if you're not a fan. I like things a little spicy, so I have not more than a pinch in here. And so I just want to stir that around with my onions and garlic and peppers until I can really start to smell it. There's a teaspoon each of cumin and paprika and that little pinch of cayenne that's in there. That smells good. So I'm going to put in my large can of diced tomatoes. This is a 28-inch can, 28-ounce can. I would have liked to have had petite diced if you can get that, but they didn't have any. So we just have regular diced. So they're a little large, but it's going to be fine. They're still tomatoes. So now that is coming together beautifully. I'm going to add some salt and pepper along with those tomatoes. I've got some flaky salt that I'll use at the end. I'm going to use right now my coarse sea salt that will melt into the dish really well, and just a few grinds of nice black pepper. Now I'm going to let this tomato stew kind of cook down a little bit to let some of that liquid evaporate and concentrate. It'll be that much more flavorful once some of that liquid concentrates down. So now I'm going to add my feta. The recipe calls for crumbled feta. I bought a block of feta that I crumbled myself, because sometimes when you buy the containers of already crumbled feta, it's so tiny and fine that it would really get lost in your dish. So I'm just going to add this in and stir it around. That way you don't lose that beautiful salty feta in your dish, because the pre-crumbled feta was so fine and tiny. So I'm just stirring that in a little bit. And now I am ready to pull this back off the heat. And I'm gonna crack my eggs into it. And I'm just gonna crack them. You know, I should like make a little maybe kind of make a little well for each one of my eggs. Which I didn't do for that first one. Beautiful. So now I'm ready to bring this over to the oven. My oven is preheated to 375 degrees. I'm just going to pop this in there for maybe 8 minutes or so to let these eggs cook. Well, I think our shakshuka is ready. So I'm going to grab it from this oven, turn my oven off. Here it is. Let's go try it. Gonna hit it with a little bit of my flaky salt just on the eggs, because they didn't really get any seasoning. And I can't eat eggs without black pepper, so I'm gonna give my eggs a little grind of pepper. Okay. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. And garnish with a little bit of chopped cilantro all over the dish for a little bit of pretty and a hit of that fabulous cilantro flavor. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to use that. You could use some parsley for the beauty. All right, and now I'm gonna try a bit. Get myself some tomatoes and an egg, some feta, a little bit of all of it. There's my shakshuka. I'm gonna try it with a piece of flatbread. Let me cut myself a little. Ooh, that egg yolk is just jammy. I'm glad I didn't leave it any longer because it would have been too long. Okay, let's try it. Oops, I lost my egg. I still lost my egg. So good. A perfect meatless Lenten supper, brunch, lunch, breakfast, midnight snack, whatever. Give it a try. You're going to love it.